Well, the cryptocurrency craze is sweeping the world, and Kenya has not been left out. And if I can give you some interesting statistics, Kenya is the leading nation in Africa when it comes into cryptocurrency trade. The question is this: have you been left behind? What do you exactly need to know in order to ride on the bus? Good morning, this is Base Check. We are live from Broadcasting House. It is actually how many minutes away from, well, it is about 8 minutes past 10 a.m. Of course, a healthy conversation here is about to take place on what you need to know about cryptocurrency trade and how you jump on board. My name is O'Brien Kimani. At O'Brien Kimani is my Twitter handle. At KBC Channel 1 is, of course, our Twitter channel for the corporation. Get in touch with us. And of course, we want to hear from you. And the conversation is going to be interesting right here, right now. Well, good morning and thank you very much indeed for joining us. This is Base Check live from Broadcasting House. The cryptocurrency craze is sweeping the world and Kenya has not been left out. Actually, Kenya is among the top 3 cryptocurrency trading nations in Africa. And last year, it was #1 when it comes to peer-to-peer trading. The question is, how do we get to know what exactly are we doing and how do you get to know which currency to invest in and the 101 of investing and trading in cryptocurrency? The fact of the matter is this is a sophisticated business. You need to understand what exactly you are doing. You need to know where you are investing your money and the expected returns. This morning, of course, this is going to be our conversation right here, and I am joined by 2 gentlemen who are crypto enthusiasts, if you like to call them that. On my immediate right is Lawrence Mberi. He is a blockchain and crypto assets enthusiast and educator. Thank you very much indeed, Mberi, for joining us this morning. And of course, next to Mberi, we have Kaptich, Loui. He's a crypto assets research and blockchain educator. Loui, thank you very much indeed for joining us. How, first of all, did you end up having such sophisticated titles?
Thanks, O'Brien, for having us. We appreciate you having us here just to discuss matters cryptocurrency. I think it's the fact that we saw the gap that was missing in the industry, and more so all about information, lack of information. So we started by learning. So it's been a journey. These are our 4th, 5th year in the crypto space, and for me, it's just the notion of I want to learn so that I can also teach people. So I really love blockchain as a technology, and also I love cryptocurrency, having learned personally from my own mistakes, and also now from institution like Nicosia, where we took some courses on blockchain, understanding blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Very good. It's very interesting that you're mentioning the mistakes that you have learned, in the process. I mean, that you have committed and the lessons that you have learned in the process. And of course, we'll be exploring those mistakes. How did you end up being a researcher, a cryptocurrency and a blockchain researcher and educator, Kaptich?
Thank you, Brian. I think, first of all, it's been a journey. And one thing that everybody tends to find their passion in what they're doing. And for me, it has been in IT, that is technology. So by and large, I came through cryptocurrency back in 2016. But as most people know, at the first time, it's usually you're like, what is this? and I'm sure most of the viewers are also wondering, well, what is all this? So for me, the interest spiked from the fact that I love IT, computers. So that's where I got to understand. And the moment I knew that this is the future of another aspect of money, then now it really this is now like my full-time like work. Yeah.
You know, the conversation around blockchain technology as well as cryptocurrency has been with us now for almost 15 years now. But 12 years. I mean,
yes. Yeah.
Well, the research around cryptocurrency and blockchain started around the year 2009, thereabout.
Yeah.
But, you know, the world came to appreciate and embrace, you know, cryptocurrency trade around now 12 years back.
Yeah.
How much information have you gathered so far to make you an educator, to make you a researcher?
Okay, I think I'll borrow from I think a quote I read through. The moment you read more than 5 books, I think you become a sort of more or less educated in that subject. So that has been what we've been doing ever since. And we've taken courses, as Lawrence has indicated, professional courses, just to get to understand the inner workings of the technology. So I'd say it is a combination of books, of course coursework as well, and also I mean experiencing it at the same time, because you can't teach what you don't know. So the fact that we've been doing it for the longest time, I think we're still students in it, but of course that it doesn't put you any much different, whether it's the time span that is different. Yeah. And
also it's good to appreciate the fact that you're still in the learning process.
Yes.
Because this is evolving technology.
Correct.
This is an evolving concept.
Yeah.
Mberi, how much do you know about cryptocurrency?
I can say out of experience, this is my 4th year. Like he said, we came to the crypto 2016. I think Bitcoin back then was around $580, around 58,000 Kenya shillings. But I knew Bitcoin in 2010 when it was 9 cents.
9 cents.
Yeah, and I remember telling one of my friends, this is illegal money. So why did I say it's illegal money? Because I had no information about Bitcoin back then, and any currency that does not come from the government, of course we know it's not a legal tender. So I forgot about Bitcoin then. Then 2013, another friend of mine from UK brought the same concept of can you study Bitcoin. It was around $80, around 8,000 Kenya shillings. And I remember I had interest. My background is finance. So for me, I checked how much Bitcoin had changed from 9 cents to $80. And the interest came like, okay, I think here you can make money. But I didn't understand the technology. I didn't understand anything. 2013, I remember the reason as to why we never came on board to crypto was we didn't know where to buy crypto.
Yeah.
So everybody was telling us, send us the money. We're gonna send you the Bitcoin. You don't understand Bitcoin, but somebody is telling you, first of all, send us the money, and then we will send you something you don't understand. So fear came in, and I remember telling my buddy, we're gonna lose our money. So 2013, at 8,000 Kenya shillings, we forgot about Bitcoin. So 2016 is when
3 years later.
3 years later is when I just now came across Bitcoin at $580, which is 58,000 Kenya shillings. And you know, you're seated over there, you're like...
Did you bang your head?
Of course, you know, you're just asking yourself questions like, what if? What if I took that chance and stuff? So for me, I was like, number one, thinking of internet. When internet boom was happening in 1990. Very few people took advantage of internet.
Yep.
And for me, the interest of learning came that this is a new technology. Very few people are talking about it. Everything online early with Bitcoin was bad. Every information about cryptocurrency was bad. But for me, I was like, what is the 1% that is good about this? And that's what drove me to learning more about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I've never looked back. I love numbers, and of course, we've seen how Bitcoin has grown. So learning is what we do every day. We research. At times, we sleep 4 hours just learning because the technology is changing very fast. So you cannot say like you are an expert. We are just students.
It is still a learning curve.
Yes,
for the two of you.
Yes.
Kaptich, what mistakes have you made in your interactions with cryptocurrencies?
All right, yeah, I think that's a very good question. I think that's actually what people should be asking. What are the portals that we've seen all through? Personally, I think there was at the incept of cryptocurrencies, there is what you call okay, there are different kind of cryptocurrencies. I think that's where I can start from. But before you get to know which,
but the most prominent
Bitcoin.
Dogecoin and
Bitcoin is Dogecoin. I think
it just came there.
Yeah.
But cryptocurrency, I mean Bitcoin.
Bitcoin was the first form of cryptocurrency that is successful. Also the most valuable. But I remember back in 2016, where there were very many other, we call them alternative coins. And people came in like, yeah, you see Bitcoin, the way it has gone this much, this one also is going to get that much. So we bought those, they're called ICOs, initial coin offerings. Yeah. With the promise of, you had Lawrence say, looking at Bitcoin at $50,000, 50,000 Kenya shillings, and they missed it at 8,000. And somebody telling you there's another one that will go. So of course you throw in all your money there. And then all of a sudden, after some months, the project disappears. You
realize it was a scam.
It was a scam. So we lost a lot of money, personally, when Lawrence, I believe. Then we were like, okay, even if we lost,
how much money did you lose?
Let's do it there. That was the cost of.
You can say it softly.
Yeah, but really, it was kind of your money. I mean, it's not small money, but I mean, just like any other thing out there, people start business, they fail, they start again, they fail. In the end, they succeed.
So what kept you going? I mean, the fact that you lose money in a business venture, I mean, when you burn your fingers, investing for the second time, I mean, you're always like, hey, wait a minute, I first of all must do a lot of due diligence before I venture in. How did you manage to hold on and keep going in the trade?
I think I'd refer to confidence. Because the moment you start reading something and knowing the other side of the story, because in anything there's two sides of the story. Even in, say there's a story, there's my story. So when you hear the right part of Bitcoin, the 1% that Lawrence talked about, you realize that people are really focusing on the bad side of this all this technology. And the moment I realized this is actually the future of you can say finance and also technology. I was like, yeah, this is where I need to be. Just like the way internet was starting. Guys who knew about Google back then, or even Facebook back then, there's those who knew the bigger scale of it, got into it. But of course, the bigger majority will always stay back. But the element that of course get me going is just the risk element. Always you have to have a risk element in you that you're willing to lose so you can gain. So that's what I think drove me into now learning more and also putting in most of my time.
Lawrence, I mean, how did you end up burning your fingers and losing your investment in cryptocurrency?
Very good question, Brian. I think number one is we didn't have like the information we have today. So information was scanty. And then the people who had information, they were coming to sell you something. So when you don't have a lot of information, you tend to fall for anything that comes your way, with that promise of, you're gonna make a whole lot of money out of it. Like Loui mentioned, we put quite a good number of Bitcoins in ICOs. And the most painful thing is that you're putting those Bitcoins when it's less than 100K, 100,000 Kenya shillings back then. And today it's at around 5.5 million Kenya shilling. So that's why most of the time when somebody asks you how much money you've burned, you don't want to talk about it, because if you check your accounts, you'll be like. So what made me lose a lot of money is lack of information. And I guess this is what drove myself and Loui to, can we get deeper into understanding the technology? And then for me, I travel out of the country, and I saw the bigger picture of cryptocurrency, where I saw Bitcoin ATMs. I saw shops where they had banners like Bitcoin's cryptocurrencies accepted here. So that thing really opened my eyes. Like, okay, it made me think of when, and I'll give a very good example, when mobile money technology came here. You'll go to shops where you want to pay using mobile money apps, and a person is like, no, I want cash. But look back, years from now, the same people who didn't accept those mobile payments, today they don't want to touch cash. They tell you, pay me using. So for me, when I went out there, somebody told me, Bitcoin is better experienced than explained. And I think that's been our mission. How do you experience it? Learn it first, understand the whole concept of what Bitcoin is, and then now you can understand how do I risk, like Loui said, how much do I risk part of my portfolio in this technology? So yeah, I think experience of me burning my fingers, I usually say I never lost, I learned.
You learned in the process.
Yes.
I mean, look, in 2015, the Central Bank of Kenya issued a circular, warning the public against trading in cryptocurrency. And if I can recall, the Central Bank said that cryptocurrencies or digital currencies are not regulated, and you don't have anything physical. And so if you burn your fingers, there is no remedy for you. I mean, there's no legal respite.
Recourse, yeah.
So for you, Kaptich, how did you gather enough confidence, I mean, to go against the warning of the central bank and say, hey, look, this is the path I want to pursue?
First of all, I think referring to what you said about the CBK press release, there was a very correct coming from them. They were actually doing the work, informing the public that these are new ways of, these are new technologies that we have no definition as of now. So just be cautious in what you're doing. The good thing that I think I want to commend, of course, the same authorities, that they didn't ban it.
Yeah.
Because banning it would have been another story. I mean, we wouldn't have been talking here, unlike other countries. Yeah. So the point is that the fact that it's not legal or illegal, of course, that gives you a way to experiment. And they usually say what innovation comes before regulation. Yeah. You have to innovate first. And this is something that is touching something that is an age-old activity, exchange. People have been exchanging money, trade and stuff. And this is something that is coming to basically change how that is going to operate. You talked about something that is not, it is virtual, it is digital. Meaning, we also talked about evolution, something that is changing. So we are moving away from tangible things to like virtual things, and this is the world we're heading into. I mean, even right now, I'm sure if you asked the three of us here who has like 10,000 in our pockets, nobody will, like, I don't have 10,000 in my pocket, but I'm sure digitally somewhere you have that amount of money digitally, not physically. So this is what you're talking about, only that it's on a larger scale. So for me, it is disrupting a very big industry, and that's what I was like, yeah, if I put myself into this, of course, you tend to have more. I think it's called what, financial inclusion. Yeah. In the bigger scale. So that's what drove me to go beyond that notice. Yeah.
It has been said through research and of course concept notes that Kenya is one of the top trading crypto nations in Africa. Yeah. It compares with South Africa, it compares with Nigeria. Yeah. How did we end up to that point whereby people are seeing opportunities in cryptocurrencies?
I think Kenya, we are kind of at an advantage, if I may speak from that angle. I think there was a time we were researching and we saw Kenya leads in terms of fintech. Yeah. We have the best ICT, I think, in Africa. Also, we have one of the best internet connection. So having those two means people have they have ways of getting information globally faster than most of other nations out there. So what separates everybody is what you know. It's what O'Brien it's what Loui knows, Lawrence knows, and maybe we don't share. So I'm sure with that internet coverage in Kenya, people can read more, people can research more,
Yeah.
and people can get the right information. So I think internet has really opened up how people share information, where you can get information, how you can verify information, and I think that's one of the fact that has led Kenya being, I think we are around number 9 globally in terms of
actually number 6.
No, number 6 in terms of crypto. In Africa, we are number 2 after Nigeria.
Yeah.
We just passed South Africa in terms of peer-to-peer trading. So I think information is getting out there. And then one thing I like about, I think, the spirit of Kenyans is that we don't give up. You get banned, but as long as you know there's something good ahead, you still try to learn more before you really call it quits. So I think we have that advantage of internet connectivity and the best ICT in Africa, and I think that's what is helping Kenyans be part of the global leading cryptocurrency influencers or adopters.
Yes. Just about 3 days ago, the Forbes list of billionaires, was released, and it was very interesting to discover that some of the biggest or some of the new young entrants into the world of dollar billionaires, were from the business of cryptocurrencies and digital trading, and one of them is valued at more than $29 billion, and the total combined wealth of what they are calling the crypto billionaires is estimated at is about $55 billion. So are we jumping into the ship when it has already docked off?
Actually, that brings a very important point of conversation in terms of adoption. Where are we in terms of adoption globally, even locally? So there was some, before I come to what you are asking, there was I think a report done by, was it Binance, one of the exchanges, saying that we are just 3% of the global population that is on digital currencies.
Yeah,
that's a very small number.
Out of the it's 7 point something billion people.
So out of the 3%, you have those now young billionaires. So there's something that is shifting. Digital wealth and also ways of moving money is shifting. And those people that we mentioned, those are the ones who are at the forefront, because they are part of a key ecosystem called exchanges. They are the ones who help, because what is blockchain basically? Blockchain is a third party. It's actually, it doesn't have a third party. It is a trustless way of transacting without a third party. So they're the ones who are on the forefront. But having in mind that we're only 3% of the global population, we are still actually at the early adoption stage.
The market is still very nascent.
It's still very young. So we are going to see another crop of billionaires coming up as we go by. And also, I think based on the numbers we were talking to Lawrence the other day, if you look at the total gold value globally, and you look at the stock value globally, if you look at the cash value globally, and then you look at cryptocurrency, it is just a small bit. And from that small bit is where you get those few billionaires. So what will happen in the next 3 years? That's why people ought to understand so they don't miss out. Yes.
Lawrence, from your research and from your understanding, do we have Kenyans in this ecosystem who are making money?
I think out of, just speaking out of maybe people I've interacted with and some of the guys we have dealt with, based on what you're investing in, yes, you can make money. Because I'll just give you an example with Bitcoin. If you know Bitcoin in 2010, 2011, it was at 100 shillings. Just 100 shillings. A lot of us, if we had the information, would have afforded just to buy one full Bitcoin back then. And all you needed to do is to buy that one full Bitcoin, keep it in your e-wallet, and forget about it. Today, you'll be at 5-point-something million Kenya shillings without just having to doing nothing.
Out of an investment of 100.
100 shillings. And so are there people making money? Yes, there are people making money. Why are they making money? It's because they are looking for projects that good. Projects that have what we call utility, use cases. Projects that 5-10 years, just like Bitcoin, will still be there because they are giving value to the marketplace. So one of the things we usually discuss with and we tell people who we interact with is, don't follow the price. Understand the technology behind what you're investing in or the project you're getting into. Will it see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel? Basing the same or speaking on the same, there's a research we're doing. There are over 12,200 cryptocurrencies or tokens globally right now. And there's one of the analysts who said only 3% will see the light of the tunnel. Why? Because they are valid projects. They are offering solutions to the marketplace. So if you get a project that is at cents, and all you need to do is just to have patience, because it's a class of asset. You don't buy land today and you sell it tomorrow and you think you're going to be a millionaire. So what I tell people is research. Do your own research in a project. Buy when it's low. All you need to do is to have patience. Just wait for it. If you got Bitcoin in 2011 at $1, which is 100 Kenya shillings, today will be at 50 something thousand dollars. It's good money. You took the risk because you understand it. So are there people making money? Yes, there are people making money, but after they get the right information. Same time, are people losing money? People are losing money. I've had people who come and tell me, I put money in Dogecoin because somebody tweeted about Dogecoin that it's gonna go to $1. You put your money and then it comes down, then you sell at a loss and you say crypto doesn't work. You followed the FUD, you followed that hype. Can you get to understand what you're getting into, and then you can make money. So it's a class of asset that you totally need to understand the risks involved. There are risks involved in any investment, and where there's real, there's also fake.
You know, in business we say the higher the returns, the higher the risk. And you know, it sounds interesting, it sounds beautiful, it sounds great, you know, talking about how much you can make, you know, out of cryptocurrencies. But what a lot of people do not understand is that you need a tremendous amount of wealth in terms of knowledge for you to know what exactly you're investing in, when to know when to invest, how to invest, and what to invest in. So Kaptich, how do you get to know that this is a good crypto to invest in?
All right. There are very many things that one needs to check when they want to buy into a cryptocurrency. Of course, you had Lawrence say there are more than 12,000 of them. So that, of course, gives you a very is it low or high probability? Very low probability in terms of what you're going to buy. So that is why myself and Lawrence, we actually came up with a firm called Decrypt. Decrypt Edge, that is the firm that we operate, just to help people try and sieve through all that noise. But in simple terms, one of the things is that you need to look at like utility. What is it going to do? Is it just big talk without nothing? Because we started talking about Dogecoin early in the show. So Dogecoin actually was more or less like somebody was just actually it was a joke. Somebody was just making a joke out of the whole ecosystem, and they say they have something called Dogecoin, and these I think it was a figure of a dog. At the moment, you can be surprised how much it is valuable, even the whole market capitalization. But now, if you ask me, in the next 3-4 years, will Dogecoin be there? Of course, probabilities are more or less low, on the lower side, but we don't know. But the point is, if you look at other big projects, let's say, look at the Ethereum, for instance. Ethereum is actually the second cryptocurrency, Ethereum, that came after Bitcoin. So that is like now in definition, it's like an online computer. That's where programmers do the applications there on the Ethereum network. So you see, that is something that is giving value to developers. So meaning it will grow. So those are maybe two of the points that you look at. There are very many things that it's a whole points, but you have to actually have patience. Which is, as I finish, there's one thing that I think that lacks in the Kenyan society. People always want quick money. You talked about high risk, high return. But people really understand what is high risk. And of course, when you really want quick money, and you're combining with high risk, of course, that's an equation for failing big.
Lawrence, you know, when you go to the internet, I mean, there's a lot of information about cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
But the question lies in, you know, sifting through these numbers, sifting through this tremendous amount of information, and getting to understand that this is good information, this is bad information. How do you get to know that the material that I'm reading on cryptocurrencies, you know, is material that will lead me, you know, to the promised land?
That's a great question, O'Brien, and I think like we mentioned when we started by our own experience of failing, where like we'll just go shift through. Maybe somebody has written a blog about a coin. Even here in Kenya, there are some coins projects that have come up and then they have failed. And then with that notion of somebody has just given you like you're gonna make number of X's in this project, emotions come in, and I usually say when the emotion of fear of missing out, which is FOMO, and greed enters an investor, you're done. So how do you shift through? It's a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine out of 12,200 projects, you need to do you need to understand who are the developers. Just to add on what Loui was talking about,
yeah.
What have they done before they came to the crypto space? Who are they selling? I remember there was one of the biggest scam that was done. I think it was called OneCoin, and the selling point of OneCoin was we're gonna be bigger than Bitcoin. So you see, somebody is just telling you,
and
we're going to be
no
bigger.
Fundamentals.
There are no fundamentals. There's nothing. So when I see a project, let's say for example like Ethereum, who are the founders of Ethereum? What are they bringing to the marketplace? Okay, what solutions are they bringing to the marketplace? So you need to take your time to understand. I think we usually have what we call Bitcoin 101s. It happens every Saturday at 10 p.m. We just try to share with the with Kenyans and the world what are the key things you need to check on when you are investing in this kind of assets. And I think one of our show, I think 2 weeks or 1 week ago, we talked about what are the 5 key major things you need to check when you're entering cryptocurrency. Loui has talked to you about 2 of them. The other thing is joining AMA. So it will take you even months before you get to understand this is a project I need to really risk my money. And again, passion. It comes with passion. Not everybody will fall into cryptocurrency space. Just like not everybody deals with gold. Gold is very precious, but how many people do we know that are in gold? Real estate also. Money markets, not everybody is there. But if you have interest in cryptocurrency, I think one of our key, or my own key drive in cryptocurrency is that there are some people I follow coming from a financial background, and one of them said there's the greatest transfer of wealth that is happening, and if you look, blockchain, when it comes to the technology behind cryptocurrency, blockchain is like internet 2.0. Cryptocurrency is just like email when internet started. So when you have that in mind, you will know that very few of these projects will help blockchain attain the level of internet where the internet is. So you need to do a whole lot of research to sieve through what are the ecosystems that are helping people develop and get into a broader space in terms of adoption globally and solution that will see the end of the light.
Yeah, Kaptich, when you look at you know, regulators when it comes to dealing and you know, their comments around digital currencies, they're always very cautious, and we are yet to have a country that has regulations on how to regulate you know, the cryptocurrency market and the digital currency space. And there are some critics who are saying that the digital currency is a bubble that is going to burst. And they're saying that they're giving it 5 years from now. Do you agree with them? Do you see the future in cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, I think what you said actually is what is actually going on out there. And we, of course, you cannot deny or let's say convince. You just offer the facts. That is what I usually say. And coincidentally, I think 2 weeks before, we had a session. They're talking about what is the future of crypto. Where is it really? In fact, the point was how many times has Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency been termed dead? I think it's more than 480 times. So by not zeroing in on crypto, everything else is a bubble. We hear a little bubble. We hear there is a stock bubble. Everything is a cycle. So every time there is the bubble burst, of course, it tends to grow to another level. So we've had, I think, almost 5 or 6 bubbles in terms of cryptocurrency, whereby the price grows and then it collapses. Because I think it's very good for us to define what a bubble is. Then now we can talk about crypto now. So bubble, of course, it's just like a balloon. It goes, then it poops, then of course it grows again. So there has been about 6 bubbles in cryptocurrency. And then any time the bubble gets to burst, it grows to another level. You get new people who have a high level of belief. They see it differently. So that's how it keeps growing. Now, when it comes to regulators, of course, when the bubble pops or when something collapses or crashes, of course, most people lose money. And of course, as a country, authorities tend to now want to protect their citizens on such occasions. So the recent bubble of financial was it 2008?
2009.
When they had the financial bubble. Has it grown? How many times? Actually, it has grown. Is it double since then?
More than 2.
More than 2
twice.
times. Yeah. So same thing with crypto. It will collapse, then again it will grow again.
Do you see a situation whereby regulators around the world, because they are still grappling with the question on how do you regulate something that you cannot touch, something that you cannot see, something that is just traded in the internet space. So they're still grappling with the issue of how do we develop regulations. Do you see a point whereby regulators around the world are likely to embrace digital currencies as a formal form of trading?
They are already, I can say that they are already. I think we even have countries that have even gone steps ahead and even enacted laws that they are taking now as a legal tender. I think one of the countries is El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yeah. So you see, that's a very confident, forward-looking country. The US, despite all the warnings, they also, I think, what was it yesterday or 2 days ago, the SEC. SCE, I think similar to the CMA of Kenya, say that we're not going to ban crypto. So even the Congress, say the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, say we're going to ban it. So you see, they are like, okay, why is it difficult for them to ban? Because this is something that is used, there's a term called peer-to-peer. If I decide to trade with you and I decide to pay with you in Bitcoin, how does the government come in? It is quite difficult.
Because I watched that, that appearance of Jerome Powell before the House, and also the Securities and Exchange Commission. You know, and what they said was this. I mean, even up to this point, they do not know how to develop regulations, because these are transactions that involve individuals.
Yes.
And they said the reason why we cannot ban it is because it is yet to interfere, with the formal trading channels. Yeah. But that does not give trading in cryptocurrencies, the green light, because there are still gray areas. Yeah. So how soon do you think, or do you see the world accepting cryptocurrencies as a legal tender for trading?
It's an ongoing conversation, and of course we've seen the first steps. As I said earlier, we are still at the early adoption stage. So what will make government to rather regulate, it would be like, where are they going to which point are they going to regulate? So and that we've seen already. We've had most countries prompting exchanges. So exchanges are what? These are places where people buy and sell their Bitcoins. So of course, if you have an exchange, meaning you have to be a legal entity. So that's where now government are like, if you are an exchange, you have to register with us. Then now that's where now a bit of regulation is starting to we're starting to see, and of course with the it's still at a very minimal stage, but that is a starting point. What do you call KYC? Maybe, yeah.
I think
yes.
In addition to that, I think also, I think why it's still a gray area is because a whole lot of people don't understand the technology, number one, and also they don't understand cryptocurrencies. The minute they'll understand how, like I said, it's better experienced than explained. If you go online and you try to read about blockchain and cryptocurrency, you get more confused than even when you started. So I think that gap of information is what is delaying regulation. That is what delaying regulation. But the minute they get a hand of to understand the whole concept of how does it work. During our research, we've seen countries that have said cryptocurrencies are assets. So you pay capital gains, and then other countries are saying we can only tax crypto at the point of liquidation, or because number one, nobody will ever know how much you're holding. Okay, so if I'm in Kenya and I have maybe 1 Bitcoin and I need to pay my rent, I need to fuel my car, I need to do all these basic things, expenses I need to pay. I need to convert my Bitcoin to Kenya shillings for me to do that. Yeah. So most of other countries are saying at the point of liquidation, when you're changing your cryptocurrency to fiat, that's the point we're gonna tax wherever you're liquidating. Other countries are saying, okay, we can use it as a medium of exchange, because crypto can be an asset. Also, you can use crypto as a medium of exchange where you can pay for goods and services. Yeah. When you're paying for goods and services, other countries are taking that. At that point of you making payments, there's a certain amount of tax you remit. So I think regulation might take time, but just for regulators to have fully knowledge of what are they regulating.
Tell me this, you have been to countries where cryptocurrencies are acceptable as a form of payment. How does that work?
I think it starts with merchants, number one. Because, for example, right now, even here in Kenya, you want to book a flight and you want to pay in cryptocurrency, you can go to cheapair.com. Cheapair.com is an online merchant platform which is global. So you see, it doesn't matter which part of the world you are at for you to pay for your flight using Bitcoin, using Cheapair platform. Okay, so these platforms are the ones that are enabling not only individual people in certain countries to operate, but also to really help cryptocurrency to grow. Another very good example is like B-Forward. B-Forward is one of the biggest car selling companies in Japan. They started accepting Bitcoin way back in 2016. And I remember there was a time, I think 2017, there's a gentleman who came and he's like, these guys have told me I have to buy my car using Bitcoin. They are not accepting cash. So you see, adoption happens with just few people, like PayPal. PayPal right now, they're allowing people to trade. Visa, I've seen Visa, also MasterCard, they're coming up to cryptocurrency. So you see, these are things you carry in your pocket. People know these platforms. They are not like in one country, just one country, they are global. And by the time you experience or you are using them, you come now across cryptocurrency. So I think what will help crypto grow is just that point of experience. Because I've had people saying, you know, I was doing some work online and these guys said they're gonna pay me through PayPal in Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? You see, that interest didn't come from them wanting to know what cryptocurrency is. It's somebody who forced them to learn about how can I accept my payment through Bitcoin.
And something else, you know, anybody can start a Bitcoin, right?
A cryptocurrency.
I mean, sorry. Yeah. Anybody can start a cryptocurrency.
Yes.
And so how do you start your own cryptocurrency, and how do you ensure that this cryptocurrency is going to peak in the market?
Okay, I think it really goes down to the point of why do you want to start a cryptocurrency? What is it that you want to solve? I think another way to look at it is that let's say if you look at, let's say, the supply chain for food, for instance, there are some people who want to document that process in terms of a digital certificate of how that has been happening. So somebody will say, okay, I have this solution built on blockchain. Why? Because blockchain is accessible from anywhere. I think doubling back a bit before I come to that is that today everybody has a phone, a device. I mean, a device is becoming a very powerful tool nowadays. It's what we actually, it's the main thing of how you operate today. So cryptocurrencies now is inbuilt onto that in terms of the money part of it. And I think I mentioned earlier that people need to really go back to the basics. What is money? What is currency? The moment you ask yourself those questions, what is money, what is currency, then now you can, okay, what solution can I start offering? And of course, not all solutions will be viable. The reason why Bitcoin is where it is because it is offering like a peer-to-peer way of transacting globally without any third party. So if today, let's say today when this show, you can have a loyalty program to reward whatever with the best comments on the chat or something with some tokens. So you see that is you are sort of tokenizing the value of the show. So you're putting into a blockchain. So that's how maybe you can. But now what will determine is how many people will want to use it, how many people will agree with the idea. So there's a whole.
So starting a cryptocurrency is one thing.
Yes.
Ensuring that the currency becomes acceptable in the market is now the elephant in the room.
Yes.
So how do you do that, Lawrence?
I think it all boils down to the utility, the use case. Because even if we come up with a project, but it's only us who can use it, the three of us, it will be useless at the end of it all. But if you can come up with a project that is offering clear and easy solutions out there, of course it will find people will find value in it, because the reason as to why you buy something is for exchange of a certain value. You'll never go to the market and buy something you don't really need. Why would you do that? You'll be wasting your finances. So I have to go look at out of all these makes of car, why am I going to this for this car? It's because I've seen much more value. Not that all these other cars are bad. It's because I've seen more value in this car than all these other cars. Now, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, it's the same thing. Now.
So it is akin to looking for a niche in something.
Yes.
The selling point of something.
The solution, the solution the value you bring into the marketplace. And I think that boils down to what we mentioned earlier. Out of the 12,200 cryptocurrency, only 3% is predicted to see the end of the tunnel. Why? Because they are offering valid solution to the marketplace.
And when you're talking about 3%, it's quite a small number, right?
It's 360 something.
What will make the others to fail?
Number one, if the projects were started without a use case. We've seen other very good projects also die along the way because the developers, along the way, they have different opinions on what the vision was. So there's that break point, and when that does, the vision will crash, because I would want to start my own. You'd want to do the same thing, but now you're doing. So we have like divided our community. Now what happens? Fights start. So such products also dies. So again, competition. There's somebody who might come with a better project, solution, more faster, more affordable, more. Maybe they have good marketers out there to get their information out there, and it beats your project. Not because it was a bad project, but maybe your roadmap along the way, you slowed down on doing a competition, beat you out of it. And then again, there are people who are looking at a few projects. They combine all the elements in those projects and they put it in one project. So why should I have 5 projects, or else I can have one project that is giving me the same solution? So I think those are some of the key things that will make a whole lot of projects really good.
Well, let's personalize this conversation, and I want to find out from you, Kaptich. If you have $1 million bob today, and you have the option of investing in Bitcoin, or in a cryptocurrency, or buying a 50 by 100 plot somewhere in Kamulu, which option would you go for?
That goes without saying.
You go for the plot.
No. At this point, actually, I wouldn't, because based on where I am. And to answer you, anybody who is at that point of, okay, I have this amount of money, where do I go for a business, do I go for a plot, or do I go for cryptocurrencies? So for me, first of all, is rather define yourself first. What kind of person are you? Are you kind of a long-term investor? Are you somebody who is very afraid of volatility? Because that's another aspect of cryptocurrency. It is very volatile. Today it's at 5.6 million. Next week will be at 3 million. And then you will say, I've lost money. So if you are very risk averse, you need to actually weigh your options. So what you normally recommend as decrypt, as in once you define yourself, then you can say, okay, out of this 1 million, let me try out with 200. You said experience. Try experience it first. And how do you experience it? By of course, get a wallet, install a wallet, learn the few basics. Then of course, the moment you've experienced, then now you get to grow confidence. As you usually say, don't go all in, because there are people, they put in all their money at Dogecoin, it was at the all-time high. And then they were told this is going to $2. Then they were like, yeah, I'll put in everything. Then
it's crashed.
3 weeks later, their 1 million is worth 100 shillings. So they're like, I lost. But they put a little money, they will not be broken-hearted. They'll be like, yeah, I think I can do this again. So that's what I can say. Just define yourself, know what kind of investor are you. At this point, it's actually, it favors, unfortunately, those who are risk-averse, those who are willing to step into the unknown. Because once you're there, of course, you tend to now add that portfolio that you want to grow within yourself.
You see, when you look at and there's some relative elements between investing in a cryptocurrency and investing in the stock market. Because you're buying an asset, so that at some point you're going to liquidate and get your cash. But the beauty about the stock market is that you can track the movement of of your shares. You can look at the fundamentals of a company, whether it's it's long-term projections, and make informed decisions. But for somebody who wants to invest in a cryptocurrency, I mean, what fundamentals do you have to look for? When you before you decide, I have a million bob here and want to invest in a cryptocurrency.
Maybe Lawrence can.
I think for one thing I tell people, if you're very new in the crypto, number one, go for the cryptos that have been there for a long time. Something like Bitcoin. So
you're talking about Bitcoin,
Ethereum. For them, they have already, had their test of times, so many times, and that will give you the experience Loui is talking about.
But where do you buy? Bitcoin at $58,000?
There are Bitcoin exchanges, like in Kenya, we had BitPesa, which is now Azar Group. I don't know whether it's still in operation. We have Belfrix. We have Binance, where it's an exchange where you can do peer-to-peer. You can even load money via M-Pesa there and just try it out. Just buy any cryptocurrency, which is an exchange. But again, even before you go there are key fundamentals you need to know. Where do I keep my asset? Security. How do I safely secure my assets? After I buy, like Loui has said, what kind of an investor am I? You need to come up with a strategy of what percentage of increment do I want to see my money grow at? There are people who will look at 10%. There are people who will think, I want my money to double. There are people who are thinking 10 years, like investors like Warren Buffett. They invest and they forget about their investments. They come back later to really take it. What kind of a person are you when you're coming on board? So it's very easy to buy cryptocurrency because we have platforms like local Bitcoins, exchanges where you just need your mobile phone, download it, secure it, know how to secure it, and then you can start experiencing little by little. Now, what to invest in? What to invest in, I always tell people, if you're a newbie, don't try anything new. Go for the cryptos that have already been tested by the market and they have proven. Like Bitcoin is 12 years old. Now, if you look globally and you look at all the financial institutions, where are they putting their money? In Bitcoin. Why are they not buying Dogecoin? Why are they not buying all these other coins that are there? Because we have 3 categories of how you can know what to invest in crypto. We have high risk, low return, mid risk, mid returns, and then high risk, high return. So for you to go for a high risk, high return, and you are a new person, is what Loui was talking about. You can see a crypto at maybe $100, and tonight is at $0.1. If you are not read fundamentals, you'll quit. But if you totally understand that these are crypto which 5 years from now it will have gone past maybe 1,000, you'll keep on holding. So for me, what do I buy if I'm a newbie? Experience with the cryptos that have already been tested and they have proven that they are good cryptos. Now, if you really want to invest in other cryptos, seek alternatives from people who are doing research and analysis. They can guide you through because, of course, they have had experience. They have invested in what we call cryptos that don't have any use cases and they have lost money. They have invested in mid-level kind of investments, and they've already maybe have the low risk, so they can guide you through.
Lawrence, would you advise your grandmother who is 75 years old to become a Bitcoin investor? I mean, to become a cryptocurrency investor?
Yes, I would. I've told my like all my brothers, my sisters, my folks, I've told them, just put part of your portfolio in the cryptocurrency space.
But look, I mean, you're talking about somebody who is 70-something years old, and of course, you know, their level of knowledge in terms of tradings and fundamentals of a company, you know, is limited. So aren't you misadvising them?
I'm not misadvising them, because I remember, like, let me just give an example with when mobile money came. You would send maybe your grandma some money, and she's like, "You've not sent your kutoa, you know, the fee to withdraw." How does she know that you've not sent money to withdraw? Because she has experienced it. Anything when it's new, it's complicated to everybody. Yep. But once you experience it once, twice, you're good to go. So for me, yes, I'll go ahead and show them practically, like, "Mom, this is how you download a wallet." Most of them have smartphones. This is how you download your wallet. This is how you move your money from your mobile money app to these assets to buy. Now for them, you have to tell them this is what you need to invest in. And also because for them, I think the younger generation are the people who are looking for the microwave kind of making money, you know, instant get rich kind of schemes. They want to become the millionaire the next day. But the older generation are people who think long term. These are people who are used to buying stocks, holding for 10 years, buying real estate, and they can stay for 30 years with them. So for them, it's a person who can put maybe money, $1,000, maybe in Bitcoin today at 50 something $1,000, and they can wait 5 years from now. If Bitcoin hits $100,000, maybe in some years to come, you can advise them. This is now the right time for you to exit. So yes, I can advise, but through practically showing them this is how it's done. Yes.
And of course, after taking them through the risks and opportunities and the challenges involved.
Yes.
So that you arm them with information.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because information is key here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe you on this, before but you don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin. That's one thing we need to clarify. You don't need to buy like one is 5.9 or 6 million right now. You don't need to buy a whole. You can buy fractions. We call them satoshis. So you can even buy Bitcoin for 1,000 shillings. That's 0.00 something of a Bitcoin. And then, I mean, with time.
And then you wait for it to appreciate.
Yeah.
You are talking about thousands of cryptocurrencies in the market.
Yeah.
For somebody who is not rich enough, to afford a Bitcoin, somebody who has 3,000, 10,000 shillings, 5,000 shillings, where would you advise them to invest in?
Okay, I think that's a very direct question, which of course it would be sort of I wouldn't do justice to that question by telling you buy this and this and this. First of all, someone needs to, it goes back to what I said earlier. Okay, you have 10,000 shillings, for instance. What kind of, again, what kind of investor do you want to buy to hold for 1 year or to buy for 2 years or 3 years? So once you've defined that, then now you can, you can buy then Ethereum, you can buy Bitcoin, or you can buy Cardano. There are very many, like maybe the top 10. The moment you've seen, because the point that you want to drive is try and do the transfers, convert your physical cash into crypto. Then after maybe you notice some gains, convert them back into Kenya shillings. Then now you'll be okay, so it really works. Then now you grow confidence. Then now you can now dig deeper in. So I say these are financial advice. That's one thing again that we have to be very clear, because they are undefined kind of assets. So we need to be very careful on how we're going to recommend. But there are a whole lot of cryptocurrencies you can get into. But first, after you've understood the whole concept.
Look, I mean, we are talking about virtual currencies stored in a virtual wallet. Where they are locked through a password, a PIN or something like that. What happens if you forget your password or your PIN?
That's a very good question, O'Brien. And I'll tell you, like I said, we've gone through experience. I remember I had a wallet that I forgot my private key. And those are cryptos that are gone. Those are some of the...
So you lose them?
Yes. Those are some of the...
There's no...
Regardless of how much you've invested.
Because you cannot get access.
And nobody else can access them.
It's only you who has the access.
So you can imagine what went through my head after I realized I could not find my private key. So why we keep on insisting on can you learn is because part of how you learn is also how do you secure your assets.
So let me ask you this. I mean, I have invested in cryptocurrency A. Let's say I have put 10M. And of course I have my private key. So what happens in case I die?
I think it's very simple. Nowadays, I think, as you say, the way we are investing into assets is changing. Remember, this is digital, this is virtual. There's no paper trail. There's no certificate that you have. It's all on your phone or maybe on your laptop. So the number one thing that you do as part of the onboarding process is when you buy, let's say, a cryptocurrency. Let's say you bought Bitcoin. Of course, you need to. You don't just. Unfortunately, I think if let's say you bought land somewhere and you don't tell anybody of your, maybe your wife or your brother or your close or even your lawyer that I've invested in land somewhere. The day, unfortunately, that maybe you pass on, that land will not see the light of day because no one knows that.
But you see, the beauty about your example is that we have what we call the unclaimed financial assets. You see where a company or an individual can report that there is this asset here, it has been lying here, we do not know the owner. So they will go, to the media and try to trace who actually is the owner. But that is not the case for digital currencies. So
the case for digital currencies is quite special because it's an emerging asset class. So we are now defining how that is happening. And one way of defining that is have we normally recommend even a diary, a small diary that you take note of your holdings, of your let's say if you have a will, put it that I own X amount of Bitcoins.
And this is my password.
And so now there's now an element on how you can now secure the what we call multi-signatures. That's the technical part of which we take people through. You can have, let's say, password split into 4. 2 of them your lawyer has it. 2 of them maybe your wife has it. So and it falls part of the will. So they cannot sell it or the lawyer cannot sell it because it's called a multi-signature. So that's now where we are heading into. That's why we really insist that education is very important, knowing those steps so you don't make a mistake. I mean, there is actually a very sad story that happened, I think a few years ago. Somebody lost access to very many Bitcoins actually on a laptop, but they can't Get it? So that actually is that's why it's very important that people take note of that process. It's not about fast, just slow steps here.
You have to take,
Yeah.
the right amount of time for
Yes.
you to understand
Yeah.
it. Gentlemen, because we have to come to the end, and of course this is such a wide topic that we cannot exhaust it on this platform alone. Of course, we'll keep on engaging so that we can allow people to understand what cryptocurrencies, the risks involved, the opportunities, and how you get to a point whereby now you can say, I have finally made it.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, Lawrence, what would be your advice to people listening and watching this program, and they are yet in a state of, so what do I do and where do I go from here? I want to become an investor and I want to invest my money in crypto assets. Where do I go from here?
That's a very good question, O'Brien. And for me, it boils down to look for people who are not selling anything. That's number one. They're offering information. And that's the reason as to why when you ask what can you invest in, we cannot tell somebody go and buy these directly. We'll give you info first, and then we tell you do your own research. Do your own research even before you put your money over there. So for us, like at Decrypt Edge Consultants, we help people just learn the basics. Myself and Loui, we started that company 2-3 years ago. Why? Just to bridge the gap of information. Because I remember coming back 2018, and I was asking people, do you know Bitcoin? And everybody was telling me it's a scam. So having experienced it abroad, and then I come and people are saying it's a scam, I saw that that gap. And for us, we are like, can we pass the right information? Can you get the right information? Yes, it's out there. Don't buy hype. That's another thing I tell people.
Yeah.
Don't follow the green market. I remember like 2018, there are people who were telling if you have part of your portfolio, when Bitcoin was below 300 and 400,000 Kenya shillings, we will tell people, why don't you put part of your portfolio in Bitcoin? Because market has corrected down, it's going to come up. Now, again, when Bitcoin hit 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, that's when somebody is calling you.
Yeah.
Oh, are you still in cryptocurrency? And you tell them, yes. Can I invest right now? And you're like, okay, can you learn first? And they're like, no, I've seen you can make money. It was at 400,000, right now it's at 4 million, you can make money. So one thing I tell people is, in learning, there's the L, then earning. So in the cryptocurrency space, learn first, remove the L, then you'll start earning.
Very good.
And there are platforms that you can do that. The Crypto Edge is just part of it.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your insight, and of course for your advice to people who are watching this program. And of course, let's keep engaging, and we see where we go from here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Very good. And of course, we have been having this conversation around cryptocurrency, the do's and the don'ts. As always remember, this is a new territory. You have to take time to understand it, to understand the risks, and of course to know the way out and the way in when it comes to the